So my project came out of an oppositional gaze viewing of a lot of lesbian films, and specifically Thelma and Louise uh, as a non-homosexual film. Thelma and Louise, which was created in 1991 and directed by Ridley Scott, had a lot of things that I enjoyed viewing, which was specifically the road trip aspect, and two women kind of doing it on their own and being the main protagonists of the film. And that's something that I would like to explore. However, the problems that I had with this film were that they were later punished for this by driving off a cliff, and I didn't quite see overt lesbianism being displayed on film. Also, I couldn't really identify with the characters so much because they were neither black nor outwardly lesbian. So, for my film, which carries the working title We've Come a Long Way, is about two black lesbian characters, one named Jay and the other one named Kayla, who are both 26 and have both been out lesbians for a while. So, the film centers around Kayla, who is moving from Detroit to Oakland to be with her girlfriend and establishing a relationship there. So, in doing so, they travel across I-80, which goes through the middle of America. So we get a new perspective, taking lesbians out of inner cities, which I find tends to be the case with a lot of these films, and seeing new perspectives on middle America through the eyes of black lesbians. So during the film, these characters will be going through places in Nebraska, places in Iowa, and viewing these places through a black lesbian lens. Um, I want them to stop in Nebraska and go to a bar as homage to Boys Don't Cry, and maybe do a little karaoke, singing the car song Just What I Needed, which is the opening credits to Boys Don't Cry. This is so that we can kind of have a lighter view of Nebraska as opposed to the events that happen in Boys Don't Cry. Also, whilst in the car as they're driving, I want this to act as their confessional area where they can talk to each other about not only how their friendship grew, how they feel it's going to evolve, and their worries surrounding their friendship, but also talk about their perspectives of what they've seen outside. So, in going to the bar, what were the things that they saw that were problematic, and what were the things that they found enjoyable? This shift of confessional and just viewing outside of the car will change throughout the film, where at one point during whilst going to a diner in Iowa, they will embark on they will see a truck driver who is rude and fetishizes them, which you will see in the camera viewings, which I'll talk about later. So in doing that, the shift of being able to talk about lesbian perspectives there will shift and be vocalized to this truck driver who is catcalling them. I also want it to be known that Jay and Kayla's appearance will show a representation of lesbians that you don't usually see in cinema. So while Jay's appearance will be more masculine and stud-like, which I don't think we see a lot of stud-type characters, you tend to see a rocker as opposed to a legitimate stud. Kayla's appearance will be more hipster, which I feel is coming out more in lesbian culture as a way of dress. Using Laura Mulvey's visual pleasures, I understand as a lesbian audience, there's a shift in desiring to be one of the characters and also wanting to be with one of the characters. So I want the camera angles to reflect that respectfully, but also try to minimize fetishization of the characters in general, because I want to save that for when you see the two characters in the eyes of the truck driver and have a visual reaction to that. When Jay and Kayla get closer to California, I would like to see a visual shift in the car as there's more apprehension. The camera angles will reflect that by having the spectator see from the back seat the the physical shift in how close they are. Jay will be more focused on driving, looking straight forward, kind of hands on the steering wheel, and kind of shielding herself from Kayla, whereas Kayla will be looking more out towards the window and having her body language reflect that. I would like Jay to be able to then grasp uh, Kayla's hand and let her know that we've come a long way, but we're not leaving just yet. So that moment is kind of brings them both together. Also, when you finally get to Oakland, you see that Kayla's girlfriend is actually Caucasian, which gives new ideas to Black people dating outside of their own ethnicity. And I want to reflect that as a new way of having relationships. So it's not to say that lesbians don't have relationships or to neglect that fact. I just want it to be known that it's not all of what lesbianism, what all that lesbians uh, have to deal with. I want to make it clear that this is a film about friendship and about road trips and about experiencing things outside of what we normally see in movies pertaining to Black female characters. There's a lot about coming out narratives, but I feel that that can become exhaustive. And I wish to see more films that show more than just the sexual side of lesbianism, but also show a commonality between two lesbian characters that can use their mutual uh, love of other women as a springboard to finding out more about life and understanding the perspectives of which they see things. Additionally, I want to address the statements made by Stacy in the lesbian critical theory reading that homoerotic relationships between two women who are friends are similar to that of lesbian relationships. This film hopes to show the differences between the two and that they're not so similar, but through lesbian commonalities, we can find a well-rounded relationship between two people. In closing, the progressiveness of this film is due to its portrayal of Black lesbian characters in the outside of the realm of romantic relations, and instead gives new Black lesbian perspectives on things that we don't otherwise see in mainstream films. Seeing Black lesbians in a more rural setting and also taking road trips is something that we don't see, and I think would be a great addition to mainstream film.